one reason I moved to Thailand, apart from COVID, and my wife being a Thai national, which made it easy, is that you're a very short distance from the food fields here. It produces all its own food. It's a food exporter, and there might be, I mean, I'm probably underestimating, there might be a dozen hands involved in getting the food from, the fields into my mouth. And if I wanted to move to a country, I could make it 2 or 3 steps, not just one. So shortening your supply chain, meaning you're not reliant upon global supply chains. That's a major element of how to cope with this. And if we are forced into a world where rationing applies, then you can forget about luxury goods. Okay? Your market has to be on what is going to be necessary for the vast majority of people to survive. And that again comes back to food and energy and basic energy levels. So shifting over to something which where you're going to need more of a particular energy source rather than less. So renewables, thorium, the energy level, and then in terms of products, food, clothing, the absolute basics. Nobody made money selling silk stockings in the Second World War. You made money selling silk parachutes.
Have you thought about other geographies? I always thought upper or middle Canada, having access to water, having access to arable land, and it doesn't really suffer from earthquakes or hurricanes.
Did you change your mind after Lytton? The town of Lytton burned to the ground. The town.
Well, that was the West Coast, wasn't it?
Oh, well, that's okay. But who cares about the Westies?
Well, I'm just trying to think about. Hey, listen, I'm looking for. I'm going to buy 3 cottages. One's going to be in Thailand. I'm thinking about somewhere in Canada because I got that nationality. I'm just looking for confirmation here. Where else? The Amazon rainforest in Peru.
In this sense, I think the changes are more violent towards the northern latitudes than the middle latitudes, and more in the northern hemisphere than the southern hemisphere. So because most of the energy, most of the carbon dioxide pollution, of course, happens in the north. It appears there's lots of changes happening in Antarctica, but it's so much bigger ice mass than the Arctic that it's a slower process. So southern hemisphere is safer than northern. I think, and this is one again, Rosa, reason for Thailand, around the equator, even though it becomes unbearably hot, it's ridiculous how hot it is here now. It won't become that much more change won't come its way, whereas there might be like in terms of degrees Fahrenheit, 6 to 15 degree change in parts of the northern sections. And if that means a complete change in weather patterns that eliminate food, superstorms, I think the northern hemisphere, further north you are, the more dangerous you are. And I'd be looking for good water supply as well, independent of the climate. And on that front, from what I've been told, Uruguay ain't bad.